Hello and welcome to the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories, an initiative by ET Edge. I am Ashwani Mishra, bringing to you conversations with business leaders over a cup of chai as we try to discover insights into their personal and professional journey over the years, key lessons learned, their leadership traits, hobbies, and other such engaging topics. Joining me today is Ritesh Patel, co founder at AI and data science software and services company Quantify. Welcome, Ritesh, on Cutting Chai Stories.
Hey, thanks, Ashwini. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to host you, Ritesh. Ritesh, can you take us through your childhood, your schooling and early lessons that you learned, which have stayed with you till date?
Um, yeah, I think my childhood, which is way long back, is I mean would be any other regular kid from Mumbai. I'm born and brought up in Mumbai, in a place called Goregaon, which is pretty close to the office where I am right now. But yeah, I think like any back in those days, like any other kid, you go to the neighborhood school, which is what I did. Um, uh, you spend time on studies, and you spend time on being out there playing cricket or playing whatever you do. So yeah, I would say very ordinary childhood from that perspective. I think if I have to mention about my schooling, I think I was a very average kid till about eighth grade, and then something turned in me, and in about ninth, 10th, I turned the corner and I started focusing on the studies, right? So I was not a typical child who would start strong and stay strong. I made a turn in between.
What
uh,
was that transformation, Ritesh? If you could throw some light around it.
yeah, I think it is just there is a conglomeration of a lot of things, right? I have tried to think back a lot of time about this, about what turned me, but um, I think it is combination of two things. One is the friends that I was with, which I am fortunate to have two of my childhood friends still be with me. One of them is my co-founder here at Quantify,
Oh,
who have
okay.
been together since senior KG. He was the poster child in the school, right? Um, uh, so I think the influence of the friends, I think, would be one, right? And the other thing that I learned was if you score well, you get a lot more freedom in life,
Right.
right? From your parents, from your teachers. I mean, you get excused, at least back in those days. I think if your grades are good, you are excused on a lot of things. So I think I enjoyed that freedom a lot. I was not questioned on, how late I was out, or how much cricket I'm playing, or how much badminton I'm playing. So I think I enjoyed that freedom, and I think those two simple things I would attribute towards making that turn after the eighth grade.
Right. Which school did you go, Ritesh? If I may ask, was it St. Thomas by any chance, or
Oh, I mean, I'll give you a funny answer for that. I'll give you a serious answer and a funny answer for that. I went to a school called Umed Bhai Patel English School. Okay.
right?
And that's why I mentioned that you go to the neighborhood school. I mean, it's a walking distance, probably 200 steps from our neighborhood, and that's the school you go to. And I attribute a lot of my success to that school because that is where I found some great teachers. I found great friends as well. But the funny story is when I scored really well in my 10th grade, I went to a college called Swami Vivekananda in Chembur,
Oh,
which
okay.
is a very well known, at least at that time, it was a very well known.
I did my engineering from there, Ritesh. So,
Yeah, right. I mean, it was also school at that time. It felt like
right, I
a
know.
college at that
Yes,
time. But and everybody would introduce themselves as Don Bosco, Saint Mary's, and stuff like that. So I started introducing myself, my school, as Saint UPS, because then nobody would turn around and
I
back
know.
in those days, you would when you start the college, everyone has to get up in front of the new teacher and tell which school they graduate.
I know. I know.
So nobody would understand Umid Bhai Patel English School. I guess it was not famous in Chembur, so I started saying Saint UPS. Just like you said, I was from Saint Mary's. It's supposed to be cooler back in those
I
days.
know. Right. You did your engineering in electronics from Vijay TI, Ritesh, right? How did you choose to pursue a career in technology?
Um, I would say, and I'll give you an honest answer. I think back, I did my 10th in 1992. Okay. so which is a long time ago. Um, Back then there was a very clear categorization, right? You score above 85, you take science.
Right.
Score below 85, you take commerce, and so on and so forth, right? um, so I think some of it was just categorization, that you end up where you end up. But some of it was also, my father was an engineer, right? So that was also kind of, I scored well, and engineering was attractive because it was, I guess, prestigious, it was complex, it was hard to study and things like that. Not that others are not, you just
Correct.
don't know what you don't know, right?
True. Yes.
I was a kid who was in a very much in a well in terms of education. Back in '92, I didn't even know IIT existed at that time. Okay, not that I would have gone into IIT. I'm just saying the exposure is so less,
True.
was so less at that time, right? So it was just a natural course that, I mean, I scored well, so I was supposed to do engineering, and that's how I ended up in engineering. um, yeah, so that's how I ended up in engineering. And I when I graduated from I what I took was a non-traditional route, which was I took a diploma in Vivekanand, and
Okay.
from diploma I did a degree, right? So
Degree.
there's two ways you can do degree back then.
Right.
Maybe it still exists, is you do either 12th and then you do a degree, but I did a diploma and then I did a degree, I guess. uh, we didn't know that if scoring high in 10th was a fluke or was a consistent story. So I think I was put in diploma,
Diploma.
thinking then at least let's hedge the bets and say diploma to ho jayega.
Right.
But coincidentally, when I scored in my rank in diploma was first in Maharashtra. So
Oh, that's
and
commendable.
it was
Yes.
the first year that the central admission was done. I went in the morning and I was the first few kids who would choose which college to take. And back then, through that process, VJTI was number one in Mumbai and COEP was number one in Pune, and those two were considered very highly ranked. And VJTI, I just liked that campus and
Campus.
everything. And back then, electrical and engineering for people from that generation would know was very highly rated, right? The VLSI, the designing of
True.
chips.
Yes.
Intel was like the big IT company back then that everyone would admire. So uh, I think all those awareness attracted me towards electrical engineering. So with my limited knowledge that I had, I chose electrical engineering and I chose VJTI.
So Ritesh, in this particular period, right till the time you entered engineering, who would you rate as a key influencer in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, influence for me always has been multiple people, and I would say incidents and particular thing about an individual. It's never been like a single person that fully inspires me. Just
Right.
that's how I look at things. There are certain things that inspire me. So I can't attribute it to one thing. I would attribute it to a lot of different things. I would attribute to my encouraging friends, who kind of made me believe what I could do. I would definitely attribute it to my professors, right, who always believed in me, and um, they really thought that I could score high. I actually never think about scores. Um, so I would say a lot of small things, but more prominently, I would say my parents themselves, right?
Right.
They come from a very my both of my parents are very well educated, and while their family is not very highly educated, so the value of education is very high, and the application of education to do something in life is very high. So I would say a lot of these things kind of influenced me, as opposed to one single thing. I would Yeah, that would be my answer.
And these influences have stayed with you till date. So you.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that stay with you, right? I mean, I tell people who I coach in the company as well, right? That uh, winning is a habit. um, it keeping your best self on is a habit, right? A lot of people believe that they can turn it on whenever they want, but keeping your motivation, keeping your hard work, keeping your all of those things on at all the time, and basically what I'm trying to say is consistency in your behavior is the key,
Behavior.
right? I mean, it is not necessarily the intelligence that can take you very far. um, Yes, it can. I mean, if you're naturally gifted, I mean, it can. But I think the most common ingredient that I feel that an individual needs to have to be successful is being very consistent and being very honest in what they do, right? And rest will follow. That's my strong belief
I know.
that has carried me forward, I would say.
I know. Most of the time, the secret recipe for success again is your own creation, Ritesh, right?
Yeah,
Self-manufactured and for your own consumption only. So
absolutely.
the circumstances in life are uniquely different, from anyone else, and there is
Correct.
no fit for all formula that way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
what?
think, and I think a lot of time, I also believe that inspiration from a single person, I don't know how good or bad that is. It has to be multiple things because you have to adopt to what you are as a human being, right? It is not that you can copy someone, right?
I
Because
know,
that person that you're copying did not copy someone else. He was his
right?
own origin, right? So you have to believe in your strengths and you have to hone in on those strengths.
What has been your leadership style, Ritesh? How do you lead and inspire your team?
Um, I think that's a question for my team, but I think if you ask them, what they will say is, I'm aggressive by nature. Okay, so if I am clear about what I want, then I am very clear on how to achieve it and how to go after it. Um, so I would say having clear goals uh, is necessary. I would say I would be categorized at somewhat aggressive. I don't know how aggressive one would say, but I would be categorized as an aggressive person in terms of achieving the goals. I believe in um being consistent, as I think that's obvious. I think that is a constant theme you will hear from me. But other than that, I would say in general, what I believe is um, one has to give his best, right? I mean, if I have to summarize how I lead and how I want my team to be, is at any given point of time, the team should be able to say that they have given the best,
Right,
right?
right, right.
If one can say that they have given the best, that's enough for me, right? It is not about the outcome. Yes, it is about the outcome, and you win some, you lose some, but I think you'll come up on the top if you can honestly tell yourself that you have given your best. So I mean,
Right.
I like to lead aggressively, but I would also say that I give very clear direction in terms of what needs to be achieved. I would say that I'm happy to help people achieve their own goals, which align to goals of the organization, uh, and uh, and making sure that one gives their best. I think that's how I think the teams will describe my
Describe.
leadership quality.
How did Quantify happen, Ritesh? You were vice president at Capgemini Financial Services business, I believe, North America. How did this initiative happen?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask me that, how did you start the company, right? I mean, it's always a mystery to everyone that how did you start the company and how did you get there? So let me answer that. How did I start? I think it was fairly easy for me to decide the field, and I'll come to that. But I think when so Vivek, who's my other co-founder and also my childhood friend, I think we always had this constant dream of doing something on our own, right? Even when we started, I think we digressed from each other because he moved to Bangalore, I moved to US, and
Okay.
he started doing his thing and I started doing my thing. But we used to meet on an average once or twice a year. Okay. But there was always the conversation about we got to do something on our own, and we should try and see if we can do it together. So that itch was always there to do something on our own. So that was point number one, right? So, and I think most of the people have that itch.
Right.
Uh, okay, does one scratch it or not is a different question, but I scratched it. Point number two is I was living in US since 1999 till about 2013. And from a family perspective, I had a son, I had my wife. We had lived there for a long time. My son was almost 5, and there was a desire to also live in India for a little bit, right? Because my parents are here. I wanted my son to see my extended family.
Right.
So that was point number two, right? Point number three about the field itself was I was in a consulting world, which means that I I I was talking to customers, new customers, pretty much every day.
True.
right?
Yes.
You are aware of what is happening in the market, right? So and if you take back, if you think back to 2013, 2013 is when cloud, machine learning, AI, data,
Started to pick
I
up.
think started to pick up, right? I
Right.
think all the customers were asking that, what is this field? How can that change us? And, can tell us about it, right? So there was a very clear trend that was emerging, right? Um, and so I think it was obvious that either I do something in Capgemini, or I jump ship to do something on our own, right? So that's
Right.
how the thought started. And then Vivek was also at the same point in his life, and then rest is history. I think we started there, and then we roped in other co-founders. You go in your network, I mean, and that's how I would say the thought of Quantify came, and then we pursued it.
Game. Right. Right. What do you enjoy doing in your free time, Ritesh? In the little free time that you might have, any hobbies or interests that you pursue?
I mean, I wouldn't say I have a particular hobby, although I try to focus on certain things. But what's been consistent is, I'm a very active person in general, right? I like to
Right.
be very, very active. I like traveling a lot. Um, I'm a morning person. I wake up and I wake up with the spring, right? I mean, I'm ready to go. I don't
Right.
like if I wake up late. I don't like when I'm very late to sleep. So in my spare time, I mean, workout is one thing that I like to do, or playing games. I'm like jack of all trades, master of none kind of guy. I'll play anything. I have a,
Any
I have
one
a
game
broken finger
particular?
right now
Oh,
because I'm participating in a cricket tournament.
okay.
But that's because I just like to be active, right? I mean, what's consistent is I mean, I used to play a lot of cricket. I mean, I used to play games with every kid plays in Mumbai back in 90s, right?
I know.
Badminton,
Yes.
cricket, carom, volleyball. I think I've played all of it, but I mean, I just know enough to be entertaining. Um, uh, but yeah, I think later part, because I was consulting and I was traveling, I think I picked up solo things a lot, which is working out, either CrossFit or weights and things like that, which I am very consistent with. I do 6 days a week, and so that is something that has stayed. But in general, I would say one is being active, right? In whichever format, either it's a hike or either it's playing, either it's being in the gym, it's swimming. I like being active when I'm not working. And other thing is traveling, but the traveling has gone for a toss.
I know.
Since
Right.
then.
That's true for everyone, I believe, Ritesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
One final question before we wind up, Ritesh. One thing that you have missed out in this professional journey, any regrets that you hold?
Um, no, I mean, Ashwini, I would not, I'm just not a person who has regrets. I don't look back to have regrets. But honestly, I do not have a single regret. I think I have had a very great journey, because life is a journey. It's all about learning. I had great teachers. I have, when for the time that I did job or I worked, I had great mentors, right, or leaders who have mentored me. So I learned a lot through that journey. I mean, even at Capgemini, I started as a consultant and I went all the way through VP, and I can only contribute that towards the opportunity, timing, and the mentors that I have received. Um, and even at Quantify, I think it's been 7 years,
It's
but it's
true.
been a
Yes.
fantastic ride. I've learned so much. So as long as I'm learning and evolving, right, mistakes doesn't matter to me. I think you can make mistakes. I mean, you learn from your mistakes. So I absolutely don't have regret about anything. I think my family, all the way from my parents to my wife, they all support me in who I am, and chasing my dreams. So no, absolutely no regret, Ashwin. And I think it's because that's I just don't look back, right? I mean, I believe in closing. If you open a new door, you close all the other doors, and you don't worry about it.
Before we wind up, Ritesh, let me also bring in Rohit Midha, Director Service Sales at Lenovo India.
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank Ashwini and Ritesh. Great to meet up with you here. I guess I'll let you go first with the response.
Yeah. So Ashwin, just repeating the question so I get it right. It is so you want to know the challenges that you faced and
And how have you tried to overcome them,
okay.
Ritesh?
So
Yes.
yeah, I think uh, there have been several challenges since a year. I think and I'm trying to roll back my mind to a year, which is last calendar year has been like more, it feels like more than a year.
I
But I
know.
think it started with first trying to figure out work from home, right?
Right.
So that would be challenge number one. Then I think uncertainty kind of kicked in, right? Whether the field is going to grow, it's going to
Right.
shrink, people are going to spend, they're not going to spend. So that was kind of challenge number two. Challenge number three was a positive one, which is the IT field itself and the digitization accelerated is what everyone saw. In hindsight, it just feels it obviously this was going to happen,
Right.
but then that growth came, aggressive growth came. So I would say I would categorize the challenges into these three phases, right? One is trying to figure out a new normal, which is working from home, logistics. Second one is to figure out, okay, in the month or two where everyone froze, what is to be done. And then when people accepted that what was going to happen, what happened, and what came after that, I would say those were the three different phases that provided its own challenges,
Right.
right? So yeah, I mean, in logistics wise, I mean, making sure that everyone is quickly able to operate remotely was the challenge number one. I think we overcome that very. We did not have to overcome that because point number one, we were all laptop company, so that played big time in our favor. Everyone had the laptops. Point number two, I think on March 1st, we implemented a trial work from home week. Okay.
Okay.
So in anticipation, because I distinctly remember I had traveled back from New York last week of February or first week of March, and I saw this notice at the airport that if you have fever, please go here. And the news from Italy had started coming up, and I
Right.
said, we gotta quickly dry run our work from home at this level. So that in hindsight turned out to be a great call because we had issues, and then we figured out how much speed people need and all of that stuff, right? And some people who had laptop issues. So we did all of that, and our work from home we did not. And I think the day the trial ended, the lockdown was announced. So we
Right.
were up and operational. So that I think we were able to overcome that very easily. The issue that came was servicing the laptops, offboarding, onboarding. But I think as 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 you evolve, all the systems also evolve, so we were able to kind of
Put them in
overcome that.
place.
But there was a challenge in that aspect specifically. That was uh, an issue because a lot of people, you could not travel to some people, some places, even the transport companies like DHL and all that. So
Right.
there was a clear challenge that I remember we had to face. I think the other challenge was, do you reduce staff? What do you do with your open offers? What do you do with your campus offers and stuff like that? So we decided to bring everyone on board, including the campus folks, and we were among the very few companies that campuses have told that onboarded all the campus resources on time,
Okay.
which turned out to be a great call. But it was a difficult choice to make at that time because this is April, May, and you have to decide what do you do with a large team that is coming up. And campus forms a large part of our
Right.
workforce as well.
Right.
And then I think the challenge was the growth. I think the growth came very aggressively, so you had to ramp up for that. But yeah, I think we are still catching up on that, to be honest, Ashwini.
Right. 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 And your IT priorities, for this year.
IT priorities for this year internally, I think there is a lot of stuff that we got to figure out from remote working, right? Because in some shape or form, this is to stay. So as every other company, we got to figure out, what does that mean? Right now, the clients have, accepted it, but I don't know what the norms will change, compliance will change, how those things will change. So I think those going to be the big challenges
Big
for us.
challenge. Yes, Rohit.
Hey, firstly, Ritesh, I am gonna steal that phrase of yours, which was keeping your best self on. I think absolutely perfect phrase for all time. So thank you on that. So coming back, I don't think any one of us had really envisaged a lockdown. I'm sure, Ritesh. I believe Ashwini, you're also from Mumbai. I am also
Yes.
based in Mumbai. I don't think we ever dreamt of seeing
Never.
empty roads and things like that. So
Except for
sure,
93. So that's the only
I was
instance.
too small then. Yeah, but that's right. But not for such a long
I
duration
know.
of time.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously, look, the first point logically was, I think everyone was really worried that if they're gonna get the right amount of food, ration, and everything else. But if I reflect back, clearly everything that Ritesh said applied to almost everybody, and uh, I would say that being in the field, organizations were in this transformation journey. Some were ahead, some were behind, and almost everybody kind of were unprepared. The degrees of uh, unpreparedness could have varied. But yeah, we had very similar problems. You had employees who were to join, and you did not know, how will the joining process happen. You had deliveries that were pending, and customers are awaiting, expecting new devices, and we did not know how will that get delivered. And I think as the days went by, solution did come up, but yeah, there was that level of uncertainty. The biggest one that we had, Ritesh and Ashwini, was about how do we fulfill our commitments to our customer now. With
Right.
work from home, the dependency on devices only went up. And unlike when employees are in an office, you normally have an engineer around, or you can find help around the office corner. Right now, customers were only probably dependent on the contact center. So, one of the big tasks that we undertook and kind of achieved in about 2-3 days time was moving the entire contact center staff uh, to be able to take calls from their homes. Right
Right.
now, that itself was a challenge, but I think we were successful. In fact, we were the only brand that actually opened up our contact center for other brands. And we said, look, irrespective of the brand of hardware you use, if you have a problem, call us. We will try and address it. So, yeah, I think that's what it was, Ashwini. Clearly, challenging times, but it's definitely shown us growth opportunities, and shown that work can happen. I think we were also worried, right? We are so used to being having that conversation over a cup of tea or meeting face to face. So that uncertainty or that question on how will how
Oh,
will life really evolve. But it's almost been a year now, and like Ritesh said before we started, it's actually become a way of life for all of us. To be connected on these calls.
thank you once again, Ritesh, Rohit, for taking out time and interacting. It was a pleasure to host both of you.